Welcome everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Heather Gifford-Jenkins and I help female business owners of offline and online businesses who own products and service businesses to really take their power back in business and use emotional intelligence marketing to really align and connect with their ideal customers to increase sales and accelerate growth. Hello Laura, how are you doing? Hi Zoe, great for you to join me this evening. Right, okay, so tonight I'm going to be speaking about the 5 things you need to master your marketing and increase your sales. Who's up for more sales? How fantastic is that? So hi Kate as well. Nice to see you as well on this live. So I'm going to start with a question. So as I said, the topic this evening I'm going to be talking about is the 5 things that you need to master your sales and master your marketing and increase your sales. So when everybody out there nowadays is using the same marketing technology, they're using the same social media platforms, they're using the same marketing activities, how can you get your business to stand out from the crowd and really get noticed so you can attract your ideal customers to you and be really the difference that makes the difference? So that you don't have to hustle for customers, and you don't have customers that are like quibbling on price, and ultimately you can attract your ideal customers who stay longer and spend more with you. So that's the question. How can we do that nowadays? Because there are just hundreds of different marketing activities that we can all do. There are loads of different social media platforms that you can actually be on. So how can you actually make sense of all of that? Well, the answer is really powering up your business by utilizing emotional intelligence in your marketing. Okay, when it comes to emotional intelligence in your marketing, it means that you can really connect yourself, your business, to your ideal customers. And that is where the gold is, because the old way of marketing, let's call it BTI, I call it before the internet. Before the internet, you could do broad brush marketing. You could be very generic because really there were only a few ways that customers could contact you. They could, there were different ways, but telephone, walking in person, catalogs, direct mail, as in, letters coming through the post. They were the only ways, the only channels that you could communicate with your customers. So it was really quite generic and really, yeah, it was very broad brush, quite generic. And then the internet came along and everything changed because there are so many different channels that you can reach your customers nowadays with. There also, what happened was the customer, I was going to call it consumers actually, but no, the customers, your customers, people, humans, we became more savvy about our buying choices, our behaviors, our likes, our dislikes. Really, I mean, there was that saying about customer being king. My goodness, the internet really shifted the power balance to customers taking control of their likes and dislikes. Yeah, and we've seen it in TV now with all the different channels, and you don't have to watch the adverts anymore. You can fast forward through them, and all of this came from the power of the customer, really. So nowadays, you have to be far more savvy. And if you use that broad generic marketing, what's going to happen is you're going to notice your sales are going to slow down. You're not going to be getting in front of the right type of customers. In fact, you're going to be broad brushing it. So you're only going to be getting a small percentage of your ideal customers. And then, business, it has to keep on evolving and growing. If it doesn't, it starts to stagnate, it starts to plateau, and then it starts going backwards. And you really don't want a business that's going backwards because it ain't going to last very long. So having a level of emotional intelligence in your marketing is absolutely crucial nowadays because it allows you to connect with your audience. And the irony here is that because of the internet, because we're all seemingly connected more, the one thing that is actually missing now is a true connection. And that's an irony. It's almost like a paradox that's going on at the moment worldwide in terms of marketing and communication. So if you're still focusing also on that old school broad brush approach, and you're also selling in that old fashioned way of features and benefits and rationale kind of marketing, what's going to happen is you are also going to become disconnected from your customers. And the reason is because I've said this before, people buy on emotion and then justify with logic. It's always been this way, but some people have kind of like overlooked this fact. And what I mean by that is of course we buy, there is a logical part of a buying process, but all of us, without fail, it is an emotional response first to something that we want to buy. And then we kind of justify why we want to buy it. And any of you who've ever bought, I don't know, anything that you love, cars, shoes, handbags, dresses, trousers, tops. I mean, I know, hi, Carlo, Carlo's joining us. So I didn't want to be sexist there by saying sort of just the female things. So yeah, cars, tools, what basically you kind of, there's a part of you that can imagine yourself utilizing that product, or wouldn't it be great? There's an emotional response first, and then we always kind of like sum it up with a bit of logic. Oh, it would match that I've got already, and oh my god, it's a bit of a bargain. Or so we justify after we've made an emotional decision. So that when you can connect with your customers at that level and connect in very powerfully to the emotions first for them, what's going to happen is you then afterwards kind of like bring in the features and benefits, and that's where the logical stuff comes in. But they automatically can get hooked. It's a little bit like an addiction at the front end. They can get hooked, and then it's literally features and benefits to justify the purchase. So has anybody got any questions so far? Because I'm kind of like racing through this. Does this all make sense? You know, pop any questions in the chat box, in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you kind of understand what I'm saying here. I usually have to wait a little bit for the comments to kind of come in on this. So bear with. I'm going to carry on talking, but if you have got any questions, pop them in the box there. One study actually found that there was a double-digit increase in sales when customers were shown emotional adverts compared to just logical features and benefits. And so, you know, there's a real proof in the pudding there. Zoe's saying 34. Zoe, I don't understand what the 34 is for. Oh, sorry, the cats say hi. Brilliant. The cat's just walked over a keyboard and typed in 34. I thought we were talking about like what's the kind of the number of the universe or whatever it is in the Hitchhiker's Guide. No, that's 44, isn't it? Or something, or 42. Anyway, we digress. Right, okay. So if you can connect the rational part of buying with the emotional intelligence part of buying into your marketing very, very powerfully, then you are going to hit gold. And that's what we show our clients in the very powerful persona marketing and the alchemy programs. We show them how to do that, and really powers up their marketing and gets incredible results. So what are the 5 things you need to master your marketing and tap into that emotional intelligence of your business? So I'm going to give you the 5 kind of top things here that you need to have a look at. But let me just see if we've got any. Here we go. We got some questions here. Let's have a look. Carlo's saying, do you think this new decade is going to pose a new difficulties, opportunities compared to the last decade? I love your questions, Carlo. Miss you, mate. I haven't seen you for ages. So okay, so that's a great question. Absolute great question. I think every decade there is a change. If we look back on the last 10 years, the evolution of marketing, of technology, of the changes and transformations of the way we're doing things, it is staggering. I mean, we live now in a lifetime where the changes in technology are absolutely mind-blowing. So yes, Carlo, I absolutely believe there are going to be new challenges and new opportunities in this decade. And the thing is, though, is that it's about, I think what's really coming to the fore now, and quite beautifully and very powerfully, is this need for true, authentic connection. And businesses that don't grasp this fact, they're going to go out of business very, very fast. The companies and the businesses that really grasp this, what's going to happen is they're going to have more empowered leadership. They are going to be more connected to their staff, so their employee retention rate is going to go higher. They are going to get more loyal customers who are going to stay and spend more with them. So the whole knock-on effect of this is going to be quite incredible. So that's what we're starting this decade with. And what I would love is that at the end of this decade, for marketing to be completely transformed from that old sleazy salesy way. That's out, and in comes more authentic, real connection with people. And I'm going to come on to that in these five 5 little tips. Joanne says, hey girl, hi Joanne, great that you've met up with us this evening again. I love the fact you turn up on all these lives. So Zoe says, yes, so we're creating desire first. Yes, absolutely, Zoe. And it's desire. Desire is the emotional kind of response. It's that it's looking, you're not selling what you think you're selling. You might have heard me say that before, but honestly, you're not just selling a product or a service with the features and the benefits. That is kind of like old school marketing now. What you're truly selling here is an emotional response. And if you can connect your ideal customers to that emotional response, your marketing is going to be powered up like rocket fuel. Yeah, Zoe says it's 42. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it's 42. Answer to the universe and everything. Right. Okay. So 5 things you need to master your marketing. Okay. So number 1 is you've got to know your business identity. ID entity, as I call it. That really is the personality behind your business and your brand. It's almost like if you can imagine, it's like a DNA encryption. It is as unique as your fingerprint, thumbprint, fingerprint, whichever one. It's unique like that. And so from that point of view, it means that when you tap into that, you could be as powerful as somebody like Apple, Steve Jobs, because that's exactly what he did. He recognized that he wasn't just selling computers, he was selling something far greater than that. And that's how he powered up his marketing. So this is all about looking at the personality of your business. It's almost as if you could personify it so it would become real. If it was a person, would it be male or female? You know, what's its likes and dislikes? What's its values? What's its belief? And really, it's the owner of a business where that DNA thread comes through. And I've spoken before about family businesses. This is where it kind of gets a little bit kind of like complicated, because if we have a founder of a business, that is their DNA chain. Now, it's fine because it's a family business. There was obviously a link in the chain in terms of DNA. So all's not lost. I mean, obviously, it's more of an issue if you come into a business and there's a power struggle there going on with a previous owner who's still in the business and you are completely different in DNA. But what we found to be true is that the DNA of a business is its personality. It's almost like a unique entity that stands alone from the business owner, as if you were birthing a child. If you gave birth to a child, you conceived the child, you gave birth to it, and then it kind of goes through the toddler stages. And that I actually believe that business is very, very similar to conception, birth, bringing up a child. And any of you who've had a business for a certain amount of time, you'll kind of get this one, because your businesses do go through all the different blooming stages. Hi, Jackie, as well. Great that you've joined me this evening. So the first thing is identify your business ID entity. What makes your business so special, so unique? The difference that makes a difference, that one. Number 2 is understand your customers. Now, I've said this before, but what does that really mean? Well, it means that your customers are all different. And so if you go to that old kind of style broad brush approach where you're just literally broad brushing it and very generic marketing, you've got to recognize that you've got different customers that you're dealing with. And you know, number 1, it means that you've got to know who they are so you can sort them into groups. Number 2 is you've got to know what their preferences are, you know, why they want to buy what you're offering. Number 3 is you need to understand their real true motivations for buying your product and service. As I said, it is not what you think you're selling at the moment. It is something way behind that, and it's emotional. So that's the secret on that one. Number 3, it's you gotta ditch the ego, folks. That's the old school marketing. Me marketing is out. In comes more consumer focused, connective marketing, which means that everything is turned on its head. So instead of talking about you, you're actually talking about your customer and what they want, and you're doing it in their voice and their style. And because if you've identified who your customers are and you can really voice in their language what they want and truly desire, then you're going to nail it. So you've got to, and that's going to build rapport, it's going to build connection, and it's going to build empathy. Because, you know, in business, it's know, like, and trust for customers. It really is. So let's have a look, see if we've got any questions so far. If you want to kind of, oh, Hannah's saying, what was number 2? Sorry, right, Hannah, understand your customer. Yeah, understand that they're all different. Yeah, so you've got to know who they are, you know, where they are, what they want, what their motives are for buying, what their preferences are. In fact, you've got to know them better than they know themselves. All right, Hannah. So that was number 2. As I said, number 3 is ditching the ego. Hang on, Zoe saying understanding your customers. Yeah, absolutely. It's understanding your customers at a psychological level, at an emotional level. It's really personifying them so incredibly real that they could be sat opposite you around a table. When you can do that, you know, we use accelerated learning techniques to actually tap our clients into that type of stuff. But when you can do that, what happens is you can have conversations with them. In fact, for any of you who've read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, you'll know that he talks about the virtual mastermind, he calls it, where he called upon all the great minds and he would imagine them in his imagination, sat around a table, and he would actually go to them and ask them different questions. And it sounds bonkers, folks, but my God, this stuff works. Hannah says, thank you. Kate says, preaching to the converted. Yeah, I bet you get this one, Kate. However, getting them to your sales platform is the difficulty. Well, not really, Kate. No, because once you know who they are and where they are, then you can actually create the systems, the marketing systems and the structures to actually automate that so that they come to you. And there's specific things that you can do to do that. All right. Because this is all about attraction marketing. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to hustle for these people. You want to attract them. And when you attract them in the right way, they come to you. It's fab. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you, Kate. Joanne says, okay, so would you do a live a post when you put yourself in their shoes as such for number 3? Oh, would you do, is that live it or live it? Live it a post when you, are you talking about putting yourself in their shoes and doing a post about that? Is that what we're talking about, Joanne? If you want to clarify that a little bit, then we can come back to that. Kate says, I disagree. Okay, Kate, let me know how you disagree then. What are you disagreeing on? And then let me see if I can help you out on that one. So get you some more clarity on it. So okay, so Joanne, yes, absolutely. If you put yourself in somebody's shoes and actually understand how they're living, what they're living, their fears, their dreams, you take it from a 2D version of marketing and you automatically make it 3D, 4D and upwards. So it's very, very powerful. So yeah, absolutely. It's about talking about them and their challenges rather than you and how fab your business is, because that sucks, quite honestly. Let's just call it out for what it is, folks. Nobody wants to hear about you, quite honestly. They ain't interested in you. They want to know about what's in it for them. That's human nature. Joanne's saying, yeah, sick of hustling. Yeah, it's crap. Just saying it as it is. Okay, so let's go. So ditch the ego. Me marketing is out. That's why sales will go down. If you're using those old school techniques, you are going to be looking at your sales figures and they're going to be going through the floor. You can't argue against facts, folks. Empathy is number 4. Empathy in communication. Your customers, I want you to think of them like different countries of the world. Different countries of the world with different languages. And when you think of your customers like that, you'll automatically, if you're intelligent enough to work this out, if you're talking French to an Italian person, they ain't going to understand what you're saying, okay? Because this is about finding out who your customers are, where they are, what language they speak, and what are their issues, what are their problems, what problem are you solving? If you're in business, you are solving a problem for someone, because otherwise, what's the point? You're not in business. So as soon as you start speaking the language of your customers, you'll be able to engage with them and connect with them properly. And then number 5 is when you fully understand who your ideal customers are, you can then match them with your ideal products and services, and you can market to them in the same language that they're speaking. And then it's all mapped out and you can actually go, okay, my customers are all on Facebook, for instance, or my customers are all on Instagram, or my customers, they prefer to respond in this way. It's about looking at your markets and where they are and who they are, and looking at the new style marketing that is in place to be able to connect with your customers far easier than that old school stuff, because the old school stuff was really slow and old, and it's kind of like it's not a really great way to connect with your customers anymore. So Joanne says, I have to say I do talk to them about their issues. It makes no difference as they're still not paying out. Well, okay. So unless you can attach a price point to a value, people are never going to pay out for stuff. You know, if you go straight in with a price and you don't actually, if they don't understand the value and the outcome attached to that, they're always going to quibble on price, Joanne. So this is about really truly understanding your audience so that you can match what they truly desire, the emotion behind what you're selling, and then match that to a powerful price point. You never know, Joanne, you could be undercharging, you could be underpriced. Do you know undercharging is worse than a kind of overcharging in a market? Because what happens is you tend to spiral down and then you're competing on price, and that's a no-win situation. So Kate says, right, our customers are worldwide in all genres, financial situations, races, creeds, and colors. Fab, yeah. They start at the age of 5 and end when they die. Fab, yeah. As martial artists, they know the economy suppliers used by trade, getting quality suppliers in front of them, getting them to your quality sales platforms is our difficulty. Okay, so Kate, I'm going to be answering this one for you a little deeper in our call at 8. But what I will say, and it's a great question, and it's going to be great value to everybody listening in on this call. Okay, so the first thing is that absolutely fantastic. You recognize that you have worldwide customers, you have all genres, you have all different financial situations. Yep, absolutely, that's life. Different races, different creeds, different colors, and they start from the age of 5 up to the end of the day. Fab. It means you've got a lot of work to do in segmentation. It means that you're going to have to group those customers into groups. Now, different countries will have different kind of characteristics to them. Yeah. But within each kind of category, there will be certain different types of needs and wants. For instance, a 5-year-old will not buy your belts, Kate. It is going to be the adult. So automatically you can say, fab, okay, let's just disconnect all the from all the children, because quite honestly, they are not the buyers, and you want to be communicating with the buyers. So who are the buyers? And that's how you kind of start segmenting down in terms of your customer groups. So you understand who are the actual buyers of your products. And then you said the other thing about as martial artists, they know the economy suppliers used by trade. Okay. They know the economy suppliers used by trade. Does that mean, Kate, that they would go directly to the economy suppliers? I mean, because quite honestly, if you're competing just on a product or a service, folks, that's never going to work, because as I said, you're not selling that. If you are selling purely on price, on product, on services, benefits and features, you're having a tough game in today's market, because that is not where the value lies. The value lies in what's the emotional connection to the product you're selling. And the more you can connect with an emotional intelligence level in your marketing, the more people are going to be loyal to you, and they will come and spend more money with you, even if they know that there's a supplier that is cheaper than them, because that's not what they're buying. Okay, so hopefully that's kind of Zoe has a full A4 sheet on this. Fabulous. We look forward to having a look at that. So hope that answers a lot of questions for different people. It's about taking a market and going, oh, it's women we market to. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Okay, so let's just narrow that down so we can actually find out who these women are, how old they are, what are their likes, what are their dislikes, what are their values, what are their beliefs, what's their pain points, what's their heavens. And it's about really bringing all of that powerfully together so you have collections of people that fit a certain persona type. And that's how the powerful persona marketing techniques actually works. Kate says, yeah, we don't compete on price. Absolutely, Kate, never, ever compete on price. You're never going to win on that one. In fact, that's just the spiral down of competing on price and undercutting and just going cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and discounts and all of that. It never works for a business. And if any of you are doing that, oh my goodness, please stop, because you're going to be out of business if you carry on like that. Kate says, if I can get in front of them, I can sell Santa Arabs. Oh, haven't heard that expression for a long time. Okay, so basically, yeah, the fact is, it is about learning the techniques. Is once you understand who your customers are and where they are and why they want to buy and everything I've talked about, then you can start looking at how you can use the new technology nowadays to get in front of your customers, right into their hands, onto their phones, as they're sat in front of their telly, watching telly, and you have the opportunity to actually be right in front of them rather than your competitors. Okay, but at the very first stage of this, you've got to know who these people are and where they are. Otherwise, you're looking for a needle in a haystack, and that's not great. So this is about understanding who your ideal customers are. You can match them then to your ideal products and services that match them, okay? Not what you think, it's what they think and what they want. You can then look about communicating very powerfully to them and connecting to them at an emotional level, not that intellectual, logical level. You can make sure that your brand and your business is positioned in the marketplace and packaged correctly, because, say, for instance, you understand who your customers are, what they want to buy from you, but you've got a crappy brand and it's not resonating at the same level. So for instance, maybe they want to buy in a Harrods kind of situation and you've got more of a Primark brand, you are going to repel those customers. So it's about matching and aligning then all your marketing as it goes through, so it resonates at the same level as your main customer groups. And that obviously, that's going to save you tons of time and money and energy, because you're not hustling for them. You're not looking for that needle in the haystack of marketing. It's really smart marketing. It's about working smarter, not harder. Let's have a look. Okay. Hi, Judith. Hi. Thanks for joining us. Let's have a look. Joanne is saying, like early 20s, worried about relationships, elderly with their loved ones in spirit. Yeah, that's it, Joan, because you're the spiritual coach, aren't you? Like early 20s, worry about relationships, elderly with their loved ones. Yeah, absolutely. It's about the emotion. It's about the emotional triggers and understanding why they want to buy from you. And if you have a business like yours, Joanne, it's very much about looking at the motivators of what brings people to you in the first place. What do they truly want? They don't want a tarot card reading or that. No, what they actually want is they want hope, don't they? They want to feel like their loved ones are somewhere else. It's more hope in terms of maybe hearing things that they need to hear. Yeah, I can't really put it any more succinctly than that for you, Joanne. You know what I'm talking about here. This is about reassuring them and giving them hope, because, a lot of people, you were saying like early 20s, worried about relationships, elderly with their loved ones in spirit. Yeah, it's all about reassuring people in your industry. And that's what you're selling, Joanne. You're not selling kind of the readings or anything like that. You're actually selling so much more. And that's what I'm saying to everybody on here, is you're not selling what you think you're selling. And so that's why it's really important to use emotional intelligence. Yeah. And, in the persona marketing method that I developed, we use something called empathy mapping. And empathy mapping means that it's very powerful, because people are sick to death of that impersonal marketing. They really are. They don't want to be treated like users anymore, consumers and subscribers. They are human beings. They are unique. They've got wants and needs, and they've got specific behaviors that they have. And they want you to respect their situation. They want you to respect their uniqueness and their intelligence. They don't want to be, treated like they're stupid. I think that's just like that mansplaining thing that goes on. Sorry, Carlo. So when you are truly connected and aligned to your business, your team, your marketing, your ideal customers, you're going to create brand loyalty. You're going to have more engagement. You're going to have a full and positive impact on those people that you're engaging with. Also on your sales are going to go up, your conversions are going to go up, and your retention rates are going to go up in terms of staff and customers. So let's just see if we've got any more questions in here. Joanne says, yeah, okay, I need to delve more into the group sections too. Yeah, absolutely. It's about segmenting your marketing all up. And, and this stuff isn't This stuff isn't easy, folks. It's simple when you know how, and when you have like a process to go through, a step-by-step dialing it all in, because don't forget, it's not one piece of the puzzle. You could find out who your customers are and map that all out, but then you're missing the next step of the process, which is how to communicate with these people properly. Then you're missing the next step of the process, which is how on earth do I get in front of these people? Where are they? Then you're missing the next bit of the process, which is what Kate brought up, which is, well, how the hell do I get in front of these people? Yeah. Because I want to actually give my message to them, but how on earth do I? Well, there are faster ways you can do that online now. Within seconds, you can reach thousands and thousands of people of your target audience in seconds. But again, it's not as simple as just going, oh, that's an advert, isn't it, Heather? Because it's not just an advert. It's about the communication and everything else dialed in. So it all runs like clockwork, okay? And you're doing it in a very, very authentic way. Let's see if we've got any more questions. So if you've got any more questions about this, because it's kind of like a heavyweight, weighty kind of topic tonight. But I think the bottom line, you know, for all of this is about the fact that you've really got to connect now. The more you can connect with your customers nowadays, that is what is going to take you up a level. It's going to that's going to be the difference that makes a difference, because there are so many people that don't know this and don't understand it and are still using old-fashioned marketing techniques and wondering why they're getting declining sales numbers, declining customers. It's tough when you're using these old school techniques. The new style, which is more engaged, more feminine actually in its approach, rather than that masculine kind of push marketing and or just waiting for customers to try and find you. You don't have to do that anymore. You can really dial this in. And the deeper you go on this stuff, the more dialed in you're going to get. The wider you go on it, the more challenges that you're going to have, because most people, they tend to put the cart before the horse. I know I got it one. The cart before the horse in terms of their marketing. So they'll rush out and they'll get all of these activities. Oh, I need to be here. I need to be here. I need to be on Twitter. I need to be there. I need to be on Instagram. And they're rushing out and doing all of the activities. And that's actually part of the last part of the process. That's like gambling and like roulette wheel and putting all your your money on black when actually all your customers are on red. That's crazy. And you're gambling with your future and your financial independence here. It's not worth it. So has anybody got any questions before I wrap this up? Put them in the feed if you have. So I hope you found that useful tonight. As always, if you want to learn more about the business alignment techniques, you can check out the free training that I have. Go and check out. They're on the page and groups and on my website. You could go and check those out. And if you really want to truly take your power back in business, reach out to me. Let's have a chat about your business and see if we can help you. And if not, we'll certainly recommend some other resources, somebody else that can help you. Which is a good fit for you and your business. But let's have a look, see if we've got, before I disappear, because I don't like not answering anybody's questions. So if you have got any questions, you can pop them below the feeds of this video and I will answer them for you. But if that's all for this evening, I'm gonna duck and dive out of here. And as I said, think connection, think emotions. That's where the gold is now in marketing. And those are the 5 ways that you can master your marketing and increase your sales and accelerate your growth. Why do I know that? Because we're seeing it every single day with our clients that are dialing this all in. Okay, so until I speak to you next, let's just make sure. Zoe says, thank you. No problem, Zoe. Until I speak to you next, stay safe, one foot in front of the other, moving forwards. I'll see you soon. Take care.